Alan Daphnis on the World Beat. We have been bringing you some wonderful talents as far as open mic is concerned. And right now, I do have the pleasure of introducing Oliver Thomas. Nice to have you here on the program.
Pleasure to be here.
I saw you jamming earlier with the guys in the studio. What was that experience like for you?
Well, this is the first time I've been in the studio settings, and it's really beautiful. It's really welcoming, really warm and everything. So it's just a nice experience,
Now, being from Jamaica, because you did mention that to me earlier, there are many Jamaican talents, here in Brooklyn, and some that would like to travel here in the U.S. And I know that there are some who happen to be in this particular area, and the guys would say to me, well, Alan, I cannot travel around the world because they don't have their papers.
Right.
Now, is it something that is somewhat common among some of the musicians that you have met before in the past?
Yes, a few of them, because of the opportunities, they don't get enough exposure, and some is a politics based stuff. So if you have good manager, producer, stuff like that, that your record could be played and out, out there that people get to listen to, then you'll be able to get that opportunity to, maybe get that chance to travel out.
I'm glad you said that, Oliver, but there are guys that I know who happen to be, let's say, from IT.
Yes.
And these guys are very talented. People want them to go back home and to perform. But because of the immigration or their immigration status, they're not able to go back, because if they do go back,
right,
some of them will not be able to return to the United States.
Right.
Now, we know that the present administration of Barack Obama, this is something that they do plan on tackling,
yes,
perhaps this year or next year prior to the 2012 elections. If there's a message that you would like to somewhat put out there or expose, what would you want to say to our political representatives, the politicians watching us right now, the two of us talking about this?
Yes, well, what I would like to say to them is, to try to give, the people that's undocumented, that really some people have families back home and, things, to do back home, and, they don't get that opportunity to, have that chance. So I would say, should try to look out for them. It's some amnesty program, something for them to try to let them get that opportunity to go.
Okay, what about those who says, well, why not go through all the proper channels, like those who happen to be residing in this country legally? Why should they deserve that opportunity to stay in the country? Some of them will say, well, they should just go back home and go through a different channel to remain here legally in the country.
Well, to be frank, to go back home, right? To go back home, it would be really devastating for a lot of people.
Okay.
So it's easy for them to to try to stay here, to try to get some program, something. 5 years, 10 years, a fine, a penalty.
Okay.
To be here, and pay maybe over time.
Okay.
And then after a period of time, they could go on to citizenship or something.
All right. It seems like what I'm gathering from our conversation, if they are already here, let them stay here.
Right.
Go through some channels.
Yes.
Or some guidelines.
Yes.
And as long as they are able to adhere or to conform to those particular demands, then they should have the right to stay here in this country.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
All right. Well, Oliver, man, thank you very much for chatting with me briefly, and I hope that those who are not residing here in this country legally, whether they're musicians or not, they will have the opportunity to remain here in this country and be positive citizens like you.
Yes, sir.
And myself.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot, man, for being here on Open Mic.
Appreciate
on
it.
the World Beat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
return with much more right after these words from some of our sponsors.